year, I was in Hanoi, Vietnam, and I was backstage, behind the stage, in a very large room. And in the other room, in that large room, there were 3,000 people waiting for me to speak to them. They're playing loud music, getting everybody excited. And I was in the other room preparing for my speech, preparing for my presentation. Here's the thing. I was not nervous. I was excited. I was getting more and more excited. I could feel the energy of the group in the other room. I was thinking about my presentation. I was thinking about my introduction. I wanted to start the speech, the presentation, with a lot of energy. Then I heard them introducing me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome A.J. Hogue. And then as I ran onto the stage, 3,000 people were chanting my name. A.J. Hogue, A.J. Hogue, A.J. Hogue. We're playing this kind of loud rock music, and then I started jumping and dancing, and the whole group, all 3,000 people, joined me, jumping and dancing and yelling my name, A.J. Hogue. It was amazing. I felt fantastic. And then, of course, finally, we got everyone to calm down. I started my speech, feeling strong and excited and energetic, feeling a connection, a strong connection to the audience, feeling their energy, and their energy gave me energy, and my energy gave them energy. Up, up, up we went. It was fantastic. That's my experience with public speaking and presentations now. But why is this an important topic? Why is public speaking an important topic? Why is it an important skill for you, for your career, maybe even for your personal life? The thing that makes public speaking powerful and important is influence. When you talk to one person, well, then you can influence that one person. You can communicate your ideas, your feelings, your vision, your leadership to just that one person. If you're at a dinner party or with a few people, then again, you have a very limited number of people you can affect. The reason public speaking is powerful is that it widens your audience. You can influence and affect many, many, many more people. Hundreds, perhaps thousands. The top public speakers and presenters influence millions. It gives you that influence, that leadership, and of course that helps your career. Let me give you another example. Let's imagine a scientist, just a scientist. So a scientist, and this scientist wants to have more influence within their field with other scientists. They want to grow their career. And let's imagine, however, this scientist is kind of shy, introverted, and is terrified of public speaking. So this scientist can write some papers, and that will certainly help them influence people. However, we have another scientist. Let's imagine a second scientist, and that second scientist works on getting better at public speaking. And that scientist, of course, writes papers also, but scientist number 2 also goes to conferences and gives speeches, gives presentations about their ideas, about their work. And they do this again and again and again over time. The second scientist will probably have a better career, will probably have better connections with other scientists, will probably get more influence. Of course, it depends on many things. It depends on their work, if their work is good, all of that. But if all of that is equal, then the one who is the good public speaker will gain more influence. And it's true for you. It's true for scientists. It's true for teachers like me, coaches. It's true in every profession. It's even true in hobbies. Public speaking gives you this multiplied influence. That's why it is so important. Now, of course, I did not start in the beginning speaking to 3,000 people, feeling great, feeling excited. I can remember my first public speech, actually. It was in a public speaking class at Dale Carnegie, which is excellent, by the way. And I remember it was my very first one, and I was sitting in a chair. It was only a little group, about 30 people in our class. And I was waiting. Someone else was speaking, one of the other students, and I was the next one. And I was sitting there feeling sick. And I was sitting in my chair, kind of hunched over. My shoulders were down. My stomach felt terrible. But the worst part for me was this feeling in my throat. That's where I felt the stress and the fear and the nervousness. My throat tightened. It got tight. And so when I walked up onto the stage and started to speak, my voice sounded very weird, very strange, because my throat was so tight. So I was trying to force myself to speak, but I can't do it now. It hurts my throat. But that's what happened. I was so nervous that my throat got tight and my voice sounded strange. And as I was beginning my speech, I realized my voice sounded strange. That made me feel more embarrassed and more nervous, which made me even worse. My hands shook. My hands would shake when I was speaking. This is probably the reason I learned to start moving my hands a lot as a public speaker, to hide the shaking of my hands. And in fact, even now, when I get a lot of energy and I'm excited before a speech, sometimes my hands will still shake. I'm not feeling afraid usually, but it's just a lot of energy in my body, and it can still happen sometimes. So you are not alone. You see all these studies and all these research and polls where they ask questions, what is the most scary thing in the world to you? And public speaking is usually near the top of the list. You know, maybe bungee jumping or parachuting, and then public speaking, risking your life. And public speaking, in terms of fear, many people say they're almost equal. That speaking to a group of people is almost as scary, or some people think it's more scary than jumping out of a plane or doing some other very dangerous thing. It's interesting, right? So it's normal. Most people are terrified of public speaking when they first start. There may be a few special people who are not. I was terrified of it. So it took me time. This is a skill I developed. It was not natural. It was not I was not instantly good at it. And I'm still improving, of course, but I'm much better now than I was when I started. And you also can be much better. So even now, if you feel terrified when you give a speech, if your body feels horrible, if your voice sounds strange, if you give terrible speeches, it's okay. Most people do in the beginning. There's hope. You can improve. So let's talk about how you do that. I think the obvious thing, it seems obvious to me, that the most important thing is to master your emotions when you give a speech. For some reason, every public speaking course I've seen ignores the emotion part. They teach you techniques, how to organize a speech, how to use your hands, all these little things. But the big thing is fear and nervousness. And they never teach you how to handle that. And that's the big thing. That's number one. Because if you can just master your emotions, you know how to talk already. So it's not a big deal, actually. Once you can feel excited or at least calm when you're giving a speech, that's 90%. You can stand up there, you'll sound good. And then, of course, you can do more advanced things later to sound great. So mastering those emotions, that's the key thing. There are kind of two levels to develop as a public speaker and with your emotions. The first one I call conversational level. That's just feeling calm and relaxed. Being able to stand up in front of a group of people and not be terrified. To just be relaxed, like you're having a conversation with your friend. So you feel calm, relaxed, your breathing is normal, and then you just talk to the audience like you're having a conversation in a very normal, relaxed way. You don't need to use special techniques. You don't need to be very formal, ladies and gentlemen, blah, blah, blah. None of that. You just talk to them. Hi, everyone. How you doing? So I'm here today to talk to you about whatever. And then you just chat with them. That's a great first level to achieve. Most people don't even do that. So if you can do that, you will sound very good. Just being calm and relaxed and your normal self, having a chat with the audience. And it doesn't matter if the audience is 5 people or 50 or 500 or 5,000 or 50,000. Doesn't matter. You just still chat with them like you're in a small room having a conversation. Level 2, I would say, is inspirational. That means you inspire the audience. And that's more energetic. That requires a few other techniques and skills to learn so that you can get the audience jumping and shouting and feeling great. And most importantly, you can help the audience make positive changes in their life. So when they leave your speech, they're different in a good way. They're more motivated. They're more happy. They're more excited. That's a higher level. Some people they want to immediately jump to level 2 and inspire an audience, but they're not ready to just chat yet. So first you got to learn just to chat and have a conversation and tell stories and be very calm. After you can do that, then the next level is you can work on being energetic and inspiring and fun and funny and all of that stuff. So how do you do it? That's the question, right? It sounds good. How do you do that? How do you master your emotions? And it's very simple. Practice. You must practice. You got to practice this constantly all the time, meaning every day if possible. And you have to practice in a specific way. That's the key thing. A lot of people, they practice a speech. They just try to memorize the points, the key points. Some people even read their speech, which is a terrible idea. Don't do that. And that's all they do. They think that's practicing. That's not practicing. That's memorizing. Yes, you need to remember the topics of your speech, but that's just the most basic kind of practice. It's not going to help you feel better when you stand up. Yes, you have to do it, but there's another level. That's where you stand up in a room by yourself is fine, and you give your speech with no notes. No notes. And you just talk in a conversational way. Each time you practice, the speech will be a little different because you're not reading notes, you're not memorizing something. You just know the general topics, the general stories you want to tell. So each time you practice them, they'll come out a little bit differently. You can do this in front of a mirror. Even better, you can get a little video camera or use your webcam and record yourself giving your speech. So a very important thing you want to do in step 1 is practice breathing very deeply and get yourself in a very calm, emotional state. In other words, make yourself feel very calm and relaxed, get a big smile on your face, and then give your speech, feeling calm and relaxed. And imagine you're talking to just one good friend, and you're just chatting with them about your topic. Record yourself. When you're done, look at the recording. You'll notice that it's probably not very good. That's fine. What do? You do it again. You stand up, and again, you chat to the mirror. You chat to the camera. And very important, the important part of this is the emotion, that you keep yourself feeling calm, breathing deep. Your shoulders are back, so you're feeling kind of confident. You stand strong. Don't practice like this with your shoulders down. And use a nice, strong voice, but a normal voice. Your shoulders are back, your head is up, you're smiling. Put a big, even if it's a fake smile, it's okay. Just put a big, crazy smile on your face, and then chat about your topic. And you do this again and again, week after week after week. And you start training yourself to feel more calm and to talk conversationally when you give a speech. And of course, if you can give a lot of speeches, that helps too. So you join some speech class if you can, or Toastmasters. They're a speech group organization all over the world and very cheap. Or if you can't do that, record yourself giving speeches, and once a week put one of your speeches, one of your videos onto YouTube. Make it public. So then you'll know it's not just you. You're performing this for other people. Other people will see it. It makes it more real. Step 2 of the practice, when you start feeling more calm, when you can talk more conversationally, then you start getting yourself excited before you practice. That's so you have your shoulders back, your head's up, but then you start jumping, play some exciting music, get yourself feeling really great, really strong, really excited, and then practice your speech. Then give your speech. Feeling great, feeling strong, feeling powerful. The first few times it will sound bad, of course, but then you keep doing it again and again. Videotape yourself again, record yourself again on your webcam, whatever. Keep doing it. Put it on YouTube. Put one of them on YouTube, your final one, or do this with a real group of people in a speech class or Toastmasters or something. And then as you keep practicing feeling strong, feeling great when you give a speech, eventually you train your mind, you train your body, you train your emotions so that when you give a speech, you feel great. And that's what has happened with me. Finally, it took time. It didn't just instantly happen. I had to do this again and again and again and again. But now finally, when I'm going to give a speech, I usually feel excited.